What is up, everyone? Barricade here, and I'm bringing you guys episode 15 of Gears of War lore. Today I'm going to be talking about something that's been requested a lot, and that is the story of the Carmine family. This is something that's been requested for a while, and I've never really knew how to go about it, but I'm going to do my best here because honestly, the Carmine stories is kind of like more of a big mystery in the Gears of War universe. It's kind of something kind of hard to go and find a lot of information on. But I think I finally found a good amount of information to finally tell you guys. Okay, first off, for many people that may have not known this, there is actually not just three Carmine brothers, but actually four. It's been confirmed. It's something that's actually said in the games themselves. There's actually four Carmine brothers, not just three. Many people think that it's just Anthony, Ben, and Clay, but there is actually, in fact, another brother. We don't know if his name starts with a D like anyone, like everyone would be, predicting. And while in my opinion, I think it would probably start with a D because, the ABC, Anthony Ben Clay. But we don't know. They never stated what his name was or his age. All we know is that he exists. He's a fourth Carmine, and the thing that proves it is the simple fact that in Gears of War 2, at the very beginning, when you first meet Benjamin Carmine, Anya asks Marcus, "Are you gonna train the rook?" And then Marcus goes, "Yeah." Well, you have a choice, either if you say yes or no. And if you say no, you miss out on this information. But if you say yes, Marcus goes, "Oh yeah, I guess I'll train him, whatever." And then they start talking to Ben, start teaching him the ropes on how to be a gear. Well, Dom asks his Benjamin. He says, "Carmine," like he remembers the last name. He goes, "Carmine, you got a brother that was a gear?" And then Carmine goes, "Yeah, all four of us." Well, three of us now, referring to Anthony's death. So that would mean that there's two other brothers besides him, leading up to a total of four brothers, not just three. He goes, "There's four of us." Well, three of us now, meaning, after Anthony died. So there's a total of four brothers. And the thing is, there's nothing really known about this Carmine. They've never said his name. They never said anything about him that's really, worth mentioning him. Besides the fact that he exists. That's the only thing that's ever been mentioned. The only other thing that we can assume, that I know this is true, even though they never actually said it in the games, I know for a fact that this is true, is that this Carmine is in between. He's the in between brother of when it comes to their ages, because of the simple fact that Clay Carmine is the oldest brother and Benjamin is the youngest brother. So we don't know if he's either older or younger than Anthony Carmine. But all we know is that he's older than Benjamin but younger than Clay. But we don't know where if he's older or younger than Anthony. So it goes, Clay, and then Ben is the youngest, so we don't know. Basically, it's between Anthony and this unmentioned, unnamed Carmine on who's older or younger. But he is, in fact, younger than Clay, but older than Benjamin. And that's all I can really give you guys on the information on this unmentioned Carmine, other than the fact that he exists. There's nothing really anything else to go about. They never mentioned him in the novels. They never said his name, so we don't know anything about this Carmine. And the sad part about this, though, is the fact that we probably never will, because of the simple fact that if they do make another Gears game, it'll probably most likely be like prequel stuff that takes place around Judgment or something. That's my opinion. I think they would probably do like a prequel trilogy or something, and it'll take place around E-Day or so. And I don't really think they could ever mention this Carmine. And that's the thing that kind of sucks. It would be very cool if they ever showed them in the games, and maybe they will. But honestly, in my opinion, I really don't think they will. And I'll go more into why in a little bit. But the only other thing I actually wanted to say real quick too is, if you remember in Gears of War 3, one of the multiplayer character skins or whatever you can get was Recruit Clayton Carmine, which is just basically the younger version of him, and we get to see how he looked when he first became a gear. But the thing that's kind of like annoying about this is the simple fact that no one really plays as him. He's not really that popular of a character. I play Gears 3 still from time to time, and I don't really see anyone ever playing as Recruit Clayton. If I ever see anyone playing as Clayton, it's usually the normal Clayton or just Benjamin or Anthony. But the thing is, what they could have done to make that specific character skin so much more popular is, instead of making him a young Clay, they could have just made him the D Carmine. Like, why didn't they just do that? They could have, let's just say his name is David. They could have just put David Carmine, random multiplayer character skin, just thrown out there. You know how popular that character would have been if they'd done that? People would have been like, "What the fuck, a fourth Carmine?" Hell yeah, let's play as this fourth Carmine. We'll have all four brothers. But now when you play as the three brothers and recruit Clan, it's not as meaningful as what it would have been if they had the fourth Carmine, even if it was just the multiplayer skin character. That would have been so cool because there's been times where I played, with my brother, and I'll play as Ben and he'll play as Clay because I'm the youngest brother out of our family and he's the oldest brother. And then like whenever I bring in any of my other brothers to play like just Horde or something, they just either play as one of the Carmines or something. And it would have been cool to have, that other fourth Carmine brother instead of just a younger version of Clay. So, in my opinion, they should have just made Recruit Clayton just the D Carmine because you will never probably ever see him. And it would have been a good to finally have all four brothers in Gears 3, and they just kind of failed on that. But the other thing, the reason why I don't think they'll ever show him in future installments of Gears, is because of the simple fact that the Carmine brothers are actually very young. That's one thing many people don't realize, is that Carmine, all the Carmines, even Clay, even though Clay's the oldest, they're all young. They're fairly young compared to the other Gears. Look at Marcus and Dom. They're obviously over 30 years old because E-Day happened when they were like young. They were still teenagers, like around 18, 19. And well, actually, Dom was like probably like 18, 19, and Marcus was probably in his early 20s when E-Day happened. And in Gears 1, 2, and 3 takes place 14, 15 years after E-Day. So when you throw that 14, 15 years on it, they're, obviously 30 plus years old. And the thing is about the Carmines is that Benjamin's the youngest brother, and he barely joined into the fight when it was Gears 2, which is like 14 years after E-Day. So I'm pretty sure Benjamin would probably be around the age of 18 to 21 because he just barely joined in Gears 2. So I'm pretty sure when he was in the storyline, he was barely 18 at the very youngest and probably like 21 at the very oldest. And the same goes with Anthony. Anthony was probably around there too, like early 20s around there. And then, Clay was probably barely in his mid 20s because he's the oldest brother. And I'm pretty sure the Carmines kind of had like the family probably just had the kids, kind of soon after each other because they all seem relatively close in age. Like even though Clay is the oldest, he still has the very squeaky kind of high-pitched voice. He sounds like a young kid still. So I'm pretty sure he's probably only around 25, 26 at the very oldest. And that's why we'll probably never see the D Carmine in the future games because of the fact that they'll probably just be around the age of the E-Day and stuff. Because I have a feeling, in my opinion, I have a feeling they're going to make a trilogy that's going to start from around E-Day and lead up to Gears 1. And if they do that, we'll not see the Carmines because of the fact that 14 years ago, which is, before Gears 1, Benjamin, who's the youngest, is only like 6 years old around there. And Clay is probably only around like 12 or 13, and they wouldn't be able to beat Gears unless they just showed them as little kids, maybe. And the only way they would ever see this D Carmine is of the fact that if they made a game that takes place around the same time as the other Gears of War games, like if they made games that for other characters around Gears 1, Gears 2 time frame. That's the only way we would ever probably see those the D Carmine character. And that's another reason, one other last thing I want to bring up real quick before I run out of time here, is many people were actually going crazy and saying that Carmine was in Judgment, like Clay was in Judgment. And because there's an Easter egg in Judgment where you hear these two guys talking in a ventilation shaft, and they're going on and saying, oh, or should we fight with the help the cog or something, because I guess they're UIR soldiers, and it's when E-Day just barely happened, so they didn't really know if they could trust the cog yet. So they're like kind of just talking to each other, not really sure if they could trust the cog. And for some reason, people are going on and saying that that was Carmine. And it's like, dude, why would Carmine say that? He's a gear soldier, first of all. And second of all, Clay is probably around like 25, 26 in Gears 3, and Judgment takes place 14 years before, so he's only like 12 or 13. So, no, that does not make sense. None of the Carmines could, be a gear at the time of Judgment because they would be way too young. And there's actually a video of it. Just look it up. Just type up Gears of War Judgment Carmine or Carmine and Judgment. And there's like a video where people actually believe this. And it's like, I don't mean to sound like a basher or like a jerk or anything, but it's like, do you guys forget that the Carmines are so much younger than the other gears? Because they are. They're like kids compared to Marcus and Dom, Cole, and Baird. They're young kids. They really are. And it's just like, you just need to remember that. They're not in Judgment. They wouldn't be in that time frame. But yeah, I'm running out of time here, guys. If you guys like this video, please definitely hit that like button and subscribe. I'm glad I'm finally able to bring this episode for you guys. Thanks for watching, guys, and take it easy.